Hi, and welcome to Midnight Mayhem. I'm your host today, Bobby, and I love horror.
I'm Leon of the movies.
And I'm Raymond, the other guy.
And we have a guest.
Number one.
Hi, number one.
Guest number one.
Guest number one?
Yeah.
Okay, guest number one.
I am Ivan.
Welcome.
And intro. I don't know.
They didn't give me a script, so I don't know what to say.
I have no script here.
Yeah, feel what you're...
I'm Ivan, and I picked the movie.
Feel it in your giblets.
And I'm Leo, the other guy.
Yeah.
I'm Ivan the guest.
And I'm Ivan, the other guy.
And he's our second ever guest on this show, so thank you.
And we've only been doing this for 2 years.
Yeah. So, right off the bat, what got you into horror?
Watching movies.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
And what is your favorite horror movie? You can do top 3.
No pressure.
On the spot.
No
let's go.
judgment.
All right,
Little
F,
bit.
Mary, kill horror movies.
Okay, so I think I started with Child's Play.
That was
Nice.
your first?
My first and favorite, because that's what got me
Ooh.
into it, I guess.
Not bad.
Yeah.
Just like Bobby.
And then this one I didn't notice until way later, but it was Evil Dead: The Army
Remake?
of Darkness.
2013.
No.
That's a shot right there.
Specifically because, like claymation. I like claymation stuff.
Nice.
So-
Okay.
It's the one where he goes back in the past, right?
Yeah.
With all
The
skeletons?
third one.
Yeah, that
Okay.
one. And I saw it randomly on TV, and I was like, "What is this movie?" And I didn't know.
What is this magical
It's pretty
place?
funny. Originally, it was supposed to be called The Medieval Dead.
The medieval
That's-
day.
I like that a little bit
I
better.
liked it, yeah, I liked it a lot better.
Good play on words, but yeah. And then third, I don't know. I don't really have like favorites. It just like I watch whatever I like.
And
I mean,
then-
you say that's what people say about like their kids, but it's like which one is it?
Yeah. I named 2 of them. There you go.
That's
Yeah.
fine. That's good enough.
The rest
And
are
In
The
passing.
the most
Yeah.
Just
iconic
about.
horror scene for you, something that just stuck out in your memory through all these years.
I couldn't think of one to be honest. Alien.
All right.
The
with an
aliens.
S? Yeah.
Which part?
Iconic ending. So.
Oh,
Plus, I played Conqueror's Bad Fur Day, and it, like the first like really young. So seeing that like
Big
replayed,
poop.
it's kind of like huh?
Seeing that big giant
No,
poop.
no,
Seeing
no.
poop.
When
Horrifying,
they fight the
horrifying.
alien, or I think it was the alien.
okay.
They make the aliens reference. So I
So-
was like, oh, that stood out.
You chose our movie today, which was Overlord.
Yeah,
Why did you choose it?
I really like this movie.
You really like this
Yeah.
movie?
Did you get a chance to see this in theaters?
Did we watch it?
He talked
Yes.
me into seeing it in
Yeah,
theaters.
we did. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I was telling Leo about this a little bit earlier. I think I saw a teaser trailer for this movie, so when I went into it, I had no idea what it was,
Ooh.
and I felt like that was like the best way to go into
way to go
it.
in the
Yeah.
movie.
I was like, this is what Bobby experiences every time. Like, this is awesome. It's like,
When I saw the commercial for this movie, it just spoiled everything.
Oh,
Like,
Oh, yeah.
First thing I was
That
like,
sucked.
oh, Nazi zombies, cool. Like that's it, you know.
I was literally just existing in my house, and then Ivan was like, "You want to go see this movie Overlord?" And I was like, "Sure." And then we would go see it, and I was like, "That was amazing." I had no idea.
it's basically like you just watch. You're like, it's like Wolfenstein in live action.
Kind of.
That's what a lot of people
yeah.
say. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, for me, what caught my attention was it reminded me of a smaller movie. It's called Frankenstein's Army.
Oh God.
So it's similar. It's like
I
a
remember
group of
that.
soldiers. They go. It's like first person camera,
Yeah,
like kind of like documentary thing.
Really?
kind of like
Not documentary, like found footage.
Oh shit.
kind of like
I never
Diary of
knew
the
that.
Dead.
Huh?
Diary of the Dead.
I don't know if you've seen
I
it.
don't know if I've seen that one. Cloverfield.
Yeah, well, I know what found
okay.
footage is. I'm saying
Why you
like zombies and stuff.
could have
Like,
said one of the popular.
He doesn't know what found footage is.
yeah. He's like, so
okay,
what, okay, imagine you like find a camera, right? And this is what's happening in the camera. Like, I know what it is.
All right,
Trust
so
me,
yeah,
I've been doing this for a while.
same concept as like group of soldiers find a Nazi base or hideout, and it's like a bunch of monsters, like like they're built like this scientist is making like an army of like
Frankenstein's.
yeah
Okay.
but like they're a bunch of what was cool is like all the designs for the monsters and all that, just seeing them like when they're walking around, and that's what it reminded me of, and it kind of basically is that just more like zombies versus creations.
Sure.
I strongly recommend this movie.
Yeah.
That's why this was your first time watching it, right?
First time, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And then you saw it in theaters, and the three of us all saw it in theaters at some point.
Yeah.
So I'm
For
excited to hear.
someone who loves movies, he didn't see this one in theaters.
Because
I'm
it
curious.
kind of came out and it like what
It was like one of those shadow drops where it's
Yeah.
like you see a trailer, it's like, oh, it's coming out,
yeah.
and then you're like, oh, I wonder when that movie's coming out.
It
And
just
then
it
it's like,
came
it's
out 3
gone.
months ago. Yeah. Because what? A quick Johnny check for me. What time did this movie came out? Like what month?
2018.
2018.
This
No,
movie
what other movies came out?
So Overlord was released in the United States on November 19th, 2018 by Paramount Pictures.
November
And the
2018.
film received generally positive reviews,
Mhm.
which outside of seeing this movie myself, I didn't see anyone talk about this.
No, me neither.
Which shocks me to hell heck.
Well, because what other movies came out in November of 2018?
Well,
I don't know,
Endgame
man.
was-
Yeah, we're not gonna pull out your phone.
I got you.
Endgame was May, right? Like
Yeah.
toward
The following year. Yeah, the following year.
Was it 2019?
2018 was Infinity War, and then 2019 was Endgame.
Ah, you're right.
Yeah,
Okay.
but Infinity War came out like in May of 2018, though.
Yeah.
And then same with Endgame.
I mean, we lightly dipped into what the story's about, but I do recommend a blind watch. If you haven't seen it, strongly recommend you just pause the video and just go watch it because it's great.
Yeah, so
Just
so
don't
fun-
take it too seriously. Go in there and have fun.
So check this out. These are the movies that came out in November. The Grinch, Bohemian Rhapsody.
the animated.
I also saw that in
Yeah, the
theaters.
animated too.
I want
November,
to see it.
The
November
Green
2018
Book?
was a busy year for me. Green Book was also a good movie.
Creed
didn't see it.
2.
Oh,
None of these are horror related, but
are great too.
And I think those are all the only ones, the only big movies that came out that month.
We didn't watch
but-
Creed.
Oh,
in
and
theaters,
Fantastic
We watched
Beasts
Creed
too.
3 in
right? In
theaters.
theaters, Okay.
Fantastic
November
Beasts
was a
too.
busy month for
And
me that
A Star is
I
Born.
looked all that.
I saw three of
There's a
those
lot
movies.
A
good
Star is
movies in
Born.
there.
I forgot about Star Wars.
Halloween. Halloween also came out. The remake.
The beginning of it.
The big. The,
I
no,
saw
no,
that one
Oh
too.
yeah,
yeah.
that makes sense.
Wow.
Yeah.
All
So
It was a
and
busy
then
month.
yeah, those are the
So,
few. Yeah.
That's
real
a lot
quick,
for November.
Do you recommend? You said you recommend.
Yes, absolutely.
Ivan, this was your
Of
movie
course,
choice.
I
Clearly, it was a
recommend it,
recommendation
yeah.
for you. This is your first time watching it.
I don't know. I recommend it. It's fine, but it was whatever.
I'm
to be
gonna
honest.
by the end of this by the end of this episode, he's gonna be like, "I love this movie.
Yeah, he's like,
I already know it."
J.J. Abrams.
Whoa, what?
Exactly.
Mike Flanagan.
Mike
Wilson.
Flanagan.
So, real quick. So, if you guys do want to watch the movie for yourself, feel free to watch it. It's going to be available on the following platforms: Pluto TV, Amazon Prime Video for $1.99, Apple TV for $3.99, Fandango at home for $3.99, and YouTube. Funnily enough, I thought this was available on Tubi, but when you go to the website and you click on it where it says watch, it brings you up a completely random movie. It's called Operation Overlord. It is
That's great.
an hour and 3 minutes. It is rated TV 14.
It's not
What's
even
it
a
about?
movie rating.
I don't know. I didn't watch it.
All
So they
I
just
know is
mistook the
Yeah,
movie?
so they just it's Overlord. So that link that you go to Google, it's just gonna send you to that.
Same thing when I was looking at it on Google, the anime popped up.
Yeah, I was
like,
gonna,
yeah.
I literally,
That's another thing I was
told
gonna say.
Bobby, I was like,
So-
imagine we go in and he's like, yeah, I watched the anime. It was pretty good.
Yeah,
I was like, oh my
like the
God.
skeleton. I guess you can consider it horror.
it's like
What was that movie that we were watching? And I was like, yeah, I saw that one. It was
Hive.
The Hive.
It was
like,
Hive. You sent me a freaking screenshot of a
You're like,
bumblebee,
hey.
and I was like, "Are you joking? Like, please tell me he's joking."
Be
But
documented.
I was trying to find a background image for today's episode, so I was like Overlord, like movie wallpaper or whatever, like landscape, and it was just a bunch of anime, and I was like, this is gonna be harder than I thought. I found two of them, and I was like, all right, so long as it's not pixelated, I think we're okay.
Nice.
No, it looks good. It looks good.
I think I'm gonna lean towards ratings later on. Actually, no. I want to hear Leo's rating right now. Leo,
See,
what's-
oh,
Hold
see if
on.
it changes.
I want to
again.
hear. I want to
Yeah.
hear what he's gonna say. I want to
Yeah,
hear what
so
trash
what rating?
opinion you have.
I
to
know
say.
you wanna jump into it, but real quick. So
Real
we're
quick,
gonna do
real
a quick
quick.
summary of the movie.
Summary of the movie.
So, on the eve of D-Day, American paratroopers drop behind enemy lines to penetrate the walls of the fortified church and destroy a radio transmitter. As the soldiers approach their target, they soon begin to realize that there are more going on in the Nazi-occupied village than a simple military operation. Making their way to an underground lab, the outnumbered men stumble upon a sinister experiment that forces them into a vicious battle against an army of the undead. So,
Beautiful.
Beautiful.
Um,
Perfect. That was great.
Yeah. It's fantastic.
so it was directed by Julius Avery.
Who the fuck is that?
He's an Australian filmmaker. He's most notably known for the movie that came out 2 years ago. It's called The Pope's Exorcist. with Russell Crowe.
Look
Yeah.
at that. And I heard that one's
A
pretty
Good
good.
Samaritan. with Sylvester Stallone.
I heard that one was kind of average, but The
That-
Pope's
that
Exorcist.
was actually really highly rated.
Wait, is that the
called
one
Good
where
Samaritan?
like he pretends to be a superhero or something like that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Nice. Okay.
And there's one more that was there.
So it stars, and I'm gonna butcher these names because there's just like
Oh boy, here we go.
there's a lot of people who are not from around here. So the girl, her name was Mathilde
Oh fuck.
Olivier.
They had French casting. So
Yeah.
He's actually
Oh, yeah,
French.
She's an actress, a model, and a singer, I
She was
believe.
one of the
Wow.
open castings
Yeah.
for the movie.
Jovan Adipo, who was in Mother
Yes.
with Jennifer.
Is that him? No, right?
No.
Okay.
And then White Russell, who most notably was in Night Swim from last year, 2024.
Also,
He was
Kurt
in an
Russell's
episode of Black
son.
Mirror, the only episode of Black Mirror you saw.
Yeah.
That was him.
Yeah, you
And
recommended
he's also going to be in the up and coming movie Thunderbolts.
He was also in.
He was also in Captain Falcon and Winter Soldier,
As
which is funny.
discount Captain America.
Another person who is in this movie was Joseph Quinn, who's also known for Stranger Things,
Mm-hmm.
A Quiet Place Day One, and he's also going to be in the new up and coming Fantastic Four movie.
Great Marvel cast right now.
No,
That was-
And there's also one other character, because I was telling him, I was like, yeah, like there's a lot of characters' names I can't pronounce. I was like, but I want to bring them up.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other one, I was like, oh, this guy was on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah.
And I look at his
Yeah.
name, and I was like, I'm just gonna say that's where he's from. I'm not gonna.
Well, what
notice
about
that.
this guy?
That guy? I don't know.
He's from but the boys, right? Is that him?
Oh,
Which guy?
The guy that played this.
Do you
this
think
guy.
that's who? Do you
Oh,
think
the
that is?
main Nazi villain?
Yeah.
Who do you think it is in the boys?
I haven't seen the boys in a while, so I
Do you think it's Homelander?
no.
Anthony
No, A-Train, bro. Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
smile.
No, the main character from the boys wasn't him Huey?
No.
No.
He's not Huey.
no,
he
no,
looks
no,
like
no.
him. I feel like he does look like him.
Not really.
No.
Then again, he had
I think you
prosthetics
just
with like
remember wrong.
half of the movie. So
So now we can go ahead and go into our ratings, our personal ratings.
Before we do, I knew there was 2 other movies that the director had done. He had done the reboot of Van Helsing.
No, he's
2003?
He's going to.
No, it says he's going to be doing the reboot.
with Hugh Jackman,
I'm double checking right now.
Click it actually.
if he did
Does
the
it
one
say
with Hugh Jackman,
2023?
that's kind of
It
cool.
just says
Because that might
Helsing
just be
reboot.
when they go into production.
Go down.
Oh
Down,
boy,
down, down, down.
Professionals.
professionals, bro.
Is your phone
Yeah,
going to
so-
go off again?
So I think it's
One
like
time.
I think it's
2
a-
years.
new movies that are gonna come out.
All right, and then Son of a Gun, which I wanted to see that movie, but I never saw it.
Son of a gun.
Son of a Gun.
Son of a gun.
Gun.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yes.
Oh
And
no,
it-
I'm thinking about the other movie, Guns Akimbo. Or
And
something
it has
like that.
Obi-Wan
Okay.
Kenobi in
Uh,
it, which he has not. He's a
Daniel
fantastic
Radcliffe.
actor.
Mhm. That's cool. That's cool. He
That's
does have
great.
a lot-
I didn't bring
yeah.
those up because they weren't horror related, but yeah, go.
No,
Go for it.
I like them.
Maybe
We
it
can
was
they can
Helsing
branch out
Yeah.
for credits at least.
Sure.
at the very least. I mean, I
But
was
then
bringing
again,
up
he
Marvel.
also
Not
mentioned
I
Marvel.
mean,
so-
yeah.
Yeah.
All right, ratings.
I just thought it was fun because a good majority of the cast, the three of the cast members of this movie have been in Marvel projects. I just thought
Yeah.
that was fun to point out.
we
That is
we
a
noticed
lot.
it as while we were watching the movie. We're like, wait.
Is that Fitzsimmons?
Well, when I was talking to Bobby about what's his name, the guy that's U.S. agent.
Yeah. His
Russell?
actual name or his
What's his
character name?
Wyatt.
Wyatt
Yeah,
Russell.
White Russell.
Yeah,
I think it's Wyatt.
his dad was
Wyatt.
Star Lord's dad, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Ego.
Kurt Russell?
Yeah.
I didn't know they were related.
Crazy.
What do you
right?
mean?
Yeah.
Of
So,
course.
like, if you look
That's
at
his
his
son.
like the movies he's been, he works with a lot of Marvel people, like
Yeah.
Well, I mean, who
think-
isn't Marvel people now that it's
I
been
mean-
like 15
But
years?
like
I mean,
so
yeah,
many
but-
like connected in like one movie.
Yeah.
Like, it was
That's
just really
true.
crazy.
yeah.
But ratings.
So let's go around the table. Leo, let's start us off. What is your rating for this movie?
I think I give it a very low,
you better.
a very low
Very-
7 out of 10.
Okay.
You better
That's
explain
fine.
it.
That's
though.
fine.
Like 6.9ish,
That's
7
about-
out of 10.
Your average. That's about
That's
right.
fine. That's fine.
Well, I mean, because I saw a trailer. The trailer that I saw showed zombies.
Okay, wait.
in Nazi
so
Germany.
If you didn't watch the trailer, how do you think your perspective of the movie would?
If I didn't watch the trailer, I'd be like, okay, it would probably be higher. It would probably be higher because it did like lower my expectations a bit
Yeah.
because
Well,
I had
can't you like separate your mind like just as a film?
Yeah.
Are you
okay.
giving this a 7 out of 10 or is it just?
I think
because-
as a film, a 7 out of 10. As like a horror movie, it's probably like a solid 6, to be honest.
Yeah.
Because it's like, It
I feel
actually
like the scares were far in between.
there's no
I think
scares.
there's
in the
only
movie.
2 jump scares.
There's no
There
Jump scares
are
are-
exactly 2 jump scares.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, and they're extremely weak. The gore is great, you know, because if you get like war movies are gory, zombie movies are gory, combine them together, you get an even gorier movie. So the gore is great, but the whole time it's like I even timed it to the point where the movie picked up for me at least was when what's his name? When he gets shot in the attic. That one dude, he gets shot in the attic.
Chase.
Chase.
Spoilers ahead.
When Chase gets shot in the attic, and they're trying to revive
Spoiler
him.
warning.
You know, that's when it got interesting to me. That was at the 1 hour mark.
That was the halfway mark.
That was the halfway mark. That was like the 1 hour mark, and I was like, okay, now it's big because throughout
It's-
the movie, it's like, oh,
So like
my
the plane,
aunt is
the plane
sick.
gets shot down.
That was
Yeah,
cool.
like the-
and
No,
you're
no, no.
like, oh,
Plane scene.
I'm not really feeling this.
No, the beginning was great. The
This
beginning
isn't
was great.
exciting.
Okay.
The whole the wole scene where like it's the point of view from him falling down. That was pretty cool.
That was
All the
amazing.
way, yeah, it was awesome. And then when he falls into the water, like to the whole time right there, I was like, this is awesome. This is great, you know,
Yeah.
filmmaking right here. But then from that point all the way to the attic scene, I'm like, okay, there's a lot of little build up here, little build up there, but I'm like, it feels like a war movie. You know, it's just a war movie.
Okay.
All right.
But then there's with the zombie
yeah,
when
okay.
the zombie
I got some
movies
things to say
aside,
about
you
that.
know. 7
Okay.
out of 10.
Well, I'm gonna go ahead and give it a 7 out of 10 as well.
Shocking.
I don't
Whoa.
like war movies.
This fucking
what?
guy.
It's too real to me.
Oh
Like,
my god.
So like, there's a scene where they're walking, and, you know, I don't know if you've ever seen the meme where they're just like, "How's the war going for you guys?"
Oh,
It's like,
yeah.
"Oh, I can't wait to see my mom." And then
Hey, so how's the war going for you guys?
I can't wait to go back home and see my mom.
they get shot out.
Yeah.
That's what it felt like during the landmine scene.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, this is like too real for me. And then I will say, like, as far as horror goes, I went into the movie not knowing it was a horror movie.
Okay.
Like, I knew it was gonna be like a scary movie, but it wasn't like horror.
Same here, yeah.
So for a while it was just like, okay, this is a war movie with like small horror undertones.
Mhm.
And then obviously past the 1 hour mark they
jump
flip
into
a
Yeah.
switch there.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
literally the chest burster scene from Alien.
Yeah.
Like, it's literally the moment where the story takes its tone shift.
Now
completely.
hold on, the chest burst scene happens in like the first 20 minutes of the movie.
No, it is not. It's like the 45-minute mark.
No way, dude. No way.
Yeah.
No, it's not.
A lot of
the
it is
first
just like
Alien
them
movie
waking
is
up.
super slow.
Pull it up. No, I'm just kidding.
Pull it up.
You know, pull the movie. The next 40 minutes is just going to be the first 40 minutes until the chest burster
The first
comes
20
out.
minutes of this is just gonna be us doing this.
Just play the opening.
So you're trying
like
to tell me
the
an
Universal
alien,
logo.
that whole scene when they're running away from the face huggers, that wasn't interesting at all?
Which alien are you talking about?
We're talking
talking
about the
about
first
I'm
alien.
talking about the
Romulus?
first Alien.
I'm
the
talking
very
about-
first
oh.
chest burster. That's what I
I'm
said.
talking about Romulus.
No, no,
Okay,
no.
all
Yeah.
right.
Very
okay.
first alien.
Yeah, very first
Don't
alien.
say
Yeah.
Alien
Yeah.
Romulus.
Yeah.
Don't say Alien.
Aliens.
All right.
That's a different movie.
What's your rating?
Three
I
out
think it
of
was
10.
like
Between it sucked.
8.5 and I feel like 9's too high.
Oh
to
my
be
God.
honest, so 8.5.
Oh, yeah, that's crazy, guys. I don't know. This is like near perfect for me. This is like
Near
a
a
9,
10?
9.8.
9.8.
Yeah,
You're gonna put
I'm
this up
fine
there with
with nine.
Tremors.
You've been
I
sniffing
put it above
markers?
Tremors.
You put this above Tremors?
Yeah, and Tremors I gave a 9. This is
Yeah, hear our
this is above
perspective,
Tremors
though.
to me for so many good reasons.
Okay, you know how you said if you didn't watch the trailer, it would have been higher?
But barely higher.
Okay.
Like I would say maybe
Well, like
probably like a
7.5?
7.5. Yeah,
you put
yeah.
it like a 0.2 higher because if you didn't see the trailer.
Okay.
And because it's J.J. Abrams, probably like a 7.2.
It's produced
And
it.
it is is Mike involved? 10 out of 10.
No, watching it, I was like, I was like, oh, I'm watching a war movie, and as it proceeds, I'm like, what's going on with the town? What's going on with the village? Piqued my interest, the thrill of it,
Yeah.
and then the big reveal, and I was like, dude, are we just watching like evil super soldiers? Like, this shit's fire.
Yeah. I was
But-
like, just to bring it back to Marvel, it's like, yeah, we got Captain America, and this is what they were working on.
No, I do gotta agree. Like if I haven't
I
seen
ju-
the trailer and I had no idea what it was, it would probably be a little bit higher, like probably like half
It just
a point high. Because that one scene where he's transforming in the attic and his like collarbone just pops out.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
It's-
That's when it piqued my
They
interest.
gave
I
a
was
new
like,
name to popping a collar.
that's when I was like, I saw that, I sat up and I was like, finally, this shit is picking up. You know?
yeah, but I was like, so there were so many thrilling moments through that whole portion. Because remember, I watched it as a war movie right off the bat.
So I was
So
going to
did I,
say,
yeah.
because you're
'Cause-
putting this at 9.8, I believe it was you, and also you said like, oh, I have a problem when there's like a sexual assault scene in a movie.
I knew you guys were gonna bring it up.
I
I
think
knew
they
you
did
guys
it
were gonna
well,
bring it
Because
up.
I think they did it tastefully.
Yeah.
I knew you were gonna bring it up.
Yeah.
You were gonna bring it up, and I thought
Because
it
if they
was.
just allowed it to happen, this movie would have been knocked down.
Yeah,
so much
same
more.
with me. So I was like,
would've been
I was like,
furious.
how long are they gonna keep this up before they decide to break? And it was so stupid because like,
That's what.
Ford, right? It was what was the other?
Yep, you got it. Ford and
Yeah,
Boys.
Ford and Boys, right? They were looking, watching it from like the attic or something, right?
yes.
And then the guy's like, Ford was like, no, stop. And then
then he would go a little further.
yeah, and then
he's like,
boy,
no, stop.
and they just kept watching. I was like, what's your plan? You're gonna just watch? You can't just
They're
turn
just gonna
away,
let it
you
happen.
know?
They were gonna let it happen.
I know, but
yeah,
just
Ford was
watch,
gonna let it
did
happen.
something.
but
then they
watch,
got
bro.
caught.
Come on, man.
Yeah. So, but it.
Because they
it's kinda
can't.
like
They
kid-
weren't. Because they would have compromised their positioning if they had not. If
Or
they
just be like, oh,
interfered.
fuck. All right, we're just gonna let
It's-
this happen. So let's just look away real quick.
Oh, you're saying
Nah,
the fact that they were
the
watching?
no,
it?
the
Yeah,
fact that
that's-
Ford was like, oh wait, hold on, and then he just kind of like peeked his eyes. Yeah, he got I'm like, what the fuck are you doing,
I
man?
think it's more like just in case something like she decides to attack or something, they
They
jump
need to
in
react.
or something. Yeah, they have to like.
Sure.
There's
guard
plenty
up.
of justification. That's why nothing in the movie didn't make sense outside of Boys being too much of a like nice character. Like
Yeah,
No,
Ford
well,
was
they-
Ford.
you
They
think
kind
about
of
it.
explained
I
it.
don't mind
Back
it.
then,
I don't
it's
mind
like
it,
they
but
got anybody.
I know that there was a
that
lot
was
of
old enough.
I know there was a lot of people that were like the main critiques I saw of this online were the inaccuracy to the war times because there was no
Who was inaccuracy?
Like black people in the army and all.
yeah because
Oh, I thought
they
you
had
meant
they
like
were
zombies.
That.
that's
what we're
that's
saying.
the funny
No, that
thing,
was
yeah.
true. That's real.
Yeah, no, but it's like they're like oh people have they took me out of the movie because some of the soldiers had beards and had long hair that would be
Oh,
unacceptable.
Yeah, you're
Why
right.
did they have mixed together races and a division? They would never do that. And I'm like, the movie's about Nazi zombies, bro. Like,
Yeah, what the
like
fuck
why
is
like
it?
They're
Yeah,
like,
dude.
it's unrealistic. It's like, of course.
and we were watching the special features and literally the director's like, yeah, no, it's literally a zombie Nazi movie. I'm sure people aren't going to care that our main lead is black or like we just did an open role cast and we picked the best people for the job.
Right.
Yeah,
And-
which I
and
think
it's-
more movies should do that because I just feel like just get good actors and be like, hey, this is perfect.
Yeah, and then this movie clearly takes inspirations from like The Thing.
Yeah.
There's so many good moments, and it mixes that fine line between the horrors of war. Because when you watch a war movie, it is horrific. It's,
Yeah.
I would argue most war movies.
That opening
are.
scene, that
Yeah.
opening
Horror
scene
That's what I was saying. Like, I was like,
was
it's
brutal.
just- it was so real,
Yeah,
and it was just like,
But that's a bonus for me because it's
Yeah.
like, dang, it was like, oh man, it feels like a real war setting.
When I was watching
And
in
then
my
we go
room,
into the thing.
I had my speaker, right? And it's like, you know when they're in the plane and the dude was sleeping and then you hear like the first bomb go off in the distance? Like my room just rattle a little bit and I was like, was that fucking outside?
real
Or is that
bomb.
Yeah, it's like what the fuck? And then it just kind of rattles a little bit more. I was like, oh, okay, this is good. This is it's gonna get good right now, you know?
and
And
then you continue to hate the rest of the movie for an hour.
well, no, because there's certain parts from that point on to the attic where I'm like, okay, that's kind of good, you know, like it's a decent war movie, you know. I've seen better war movies, yeah, of course, but it's like, yeah, it caught my interest
You're like,
in the
it's a
beginning.
good movie. It's no Pearl Harbor.
No, like I've seen like Saving Private Ryan on
Horrific movie.
No-
great
yeah,
movie.
1917,
Oh my God.
another great movie in my opinion. Like Hacksaw Ridge, like those movies are great war movies. So watching this one, I'm like, okay, yeah, it's just another war movie. It had a great intro, but it's like from the point that he lands, and you know, obviously the mines and shit, but the to the point where like they, you know, look for the church and they're stuck in the house, and then I'm like, it's just a typical like war movie.
All right, hold that thought. So then, when the horror kicks off, what would you? How did you feel about that whole portion?
When the horror kicks off, I was I sat out because that was a solid transition from what we were watching to like a horror, completely like a different kind of horror, you know?
So you say the horror kicks off from when Chase is
it's a
resurrected?
different kind of horror because obviously
No,
there's
so
like
are you saying
realistic
that's-
war
Are you saying
horror.
that's where the horror kicks off, or anything to do in the lab, like the severed head, the severed talking
from
head
that exactly from the point because the severed head happened
before?
Before
before. Oh yeah, you're right.
he
Before,
finds
okay.
he finds like them experimented.
Right.
on.
The severed head was cool. I was like, that's cool, but it was, you know, it's just like a little scene. I was like,
But-
okay, that's
But
What
it
would-
didn't
interesting.
like you weren't like, oh, what the hell's going on?
Yeah, of course, I knew it was gonna
Oh,
happen,
he's like,
but
I already know
but-
zombies are coming.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
I
yeah,
gu- I
exactly. So the
guess,
whole
'cause
point, I was like,
watch the
okay, here we
trailer.
go. Here we go. I saw the head and I was like, all right, here we go. And then they go back to the house. I'm like, all right, well, I guess I'm going to fucking sit back down now. But when Chase transforms, that shit was funny too. Like I couldn't stop laughing. Where he's
Yeah,
just
it
all
was
like, "Fuck, my head hurts." He's boom, just blasts a beam of like the roof. But that shit was brutal. The way
Yeah.
when he starts convulsing, his collarbone just pops out of his skin. I was like, "This is fucking awesome." You know, this is awesome. I don't know what kind of zombies these are. I don't know if they're even zombies. You know.
And then it was also an interesting turning point for the characters. So, Boyce.
Yeah.
So prior to that, they were like, "Oh, like what have you been doing here? Like you couldn't even kill a mouse, you know, this and that." And he was always kind of like the like I just want to help people.
Right.
I don't want to kill anybody. I just want to help them.
Yeah.
That was like his first kill.
Yeah, of the movie.
And it was
Him
fucking
blushing
brutal.
just
It was
surrendering
and it was
fucking
dead.
brutal.
Responsible for that as well.
That's
Yeah,
true.
then that carries so much weight in that moment. I'm like, damn, like,
Yeah.
because he is that person who would save the mouse and let
Yeah.
it free.
Yeah, and
he's the
because
one-
like he stabbed him with
so
him,
good.
I right away I was like, oh shit, so this is how it's gonna
I remember
transition over to the zombie genre. I'm like, so that's how it's gonna happen, you know? And in my head, I'm like, this was gonna go crazy. He's gonna bite somebody else. He's gonna bite the soldiers under the
that
house.
you were
zombies.
thinking
Yeah,
traditional zombies
exactly.
is-
I was thinking of traditional zombies, but I mean, I guess it was a nice change of pace, you know?
Yeah, more
Because
more science experiment as opposed to like
Yeah, as opposed to
viral
like
infection.
outbreak,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah,
because
yeah.
you see what relevance that scene serves for the whole movie as a
Of
whole.
course, yeah,
For like
yeah,
Ford,
yeah.
because Ford was so just focused on destroying the tower.
The mission.
Right.
He would have the mission. He would have never bothered to go and stop the tar from getting out,
Exactly.
which was
yeah.
that was his goal towards the end because the situation called for it.
Right.
He
exactly.
adapted to it. So I'm like,
It's
character-
a change of characters for both.
character
Yeah,
motivation.
both of them had really good character arcs.
Mm-hmm.
And I was watching the movie. I was like, I'm both of these guys because sometimes I'm just
So
like,
good,
I
man.
don't care. Like I just have to get whatever I have
I'm
to
that
get
guy.
done.
I'm that guy.
And then the other part of me is just like, I got to do what's right. You know.
Yeah.
So that's why I was wondering. We'll get into it a little bit, but was that who did you have as a favorite character?
I liked Boys a lot. He did get irritating at some moments, which is like the only reason why I knocked him at some points.
Yeah.
Or it was like when
Like what part?
the end with Ford. So we're all full spoilers, obviously. I hope you. So hopefully you
Wait,
watch
no,
the
I haven't
movie.
seen the end.
I haven't watched it.
But when Ford's like, he's like, go detonate the bombs. He's like, no, there's still time. Like, bro, like, homie, or he like,
Yeah,
Trying to save
exactly.
him, but it's
Not only
No,
that,
yeah,
but
but
you
then
got other
he's like,
super
it's-
soldiers coming out.
it's been done for me. Like, I wasn't gonna make it out, and then he's holding C4. Like, come on, dude. Like, at a
I
certain point,
know.
you know when you have to do what you got to do.
Yeah.
I thought that character moment had happened when he had to execute Chase in that scene where he's transforming. So when he said it again to Ford, and I was like, you understand what you have to do at this point. That was the only thing I didn't like.
like
about
you know,
him.
damn right. Like that dude's coming out of the well. You got super soldiers coming out of the walls, and this guy's fucking morphing into one of them. So it's
Yeah.
like you think you're gonna save him. You know, it's like no, dude, just get the fuck out of there.
But one of
Because he was like, we could fix this, and he's like, his eyes are like
Yeah,
blacking
like
out,
bleeding
like,
and shit,
He's bleeding
yeah.
from every orifice. It's like you'll be fine.
But other than Boys, honestly, if I had to choose another character, I would probably top him. Would be Chloe. Chloe was freaking.
Chloe was
badass.
cool, yeah.
Oh,
Dude,
yeah.
oh my god! Like from like the introduction of her character to the end of her character,
Yeah.
I was just like, whoa! like you know when a character's just a badass straight through.
Yeah,
I know. I bet I can guess Leo's favorite character.
Sam Ford.
The
It's
little
Paul.
boy.
Paul, the little boy.
It's
Why?
funny. It's funny because I was thinking of like when they hear him up in the attic and they're like, "Oh, go check it out," and he goes there and Paul just comes out and he like throws the ball.
Yeah.
Whatever, and they spit on it. It's like, yeah, you don't need to make us hate Nazis more.
Yeah, it's like
we
it's
know
like
they're the bad
yeah,
guys.
I know. And I was
To be
yeah,
fair.
I thought the same thing. I was like,
Unrelated,
that
but don't
wasn't
forget to follow
really
us on Twitter.
necessary. Like it's like they're already bad people. Like it wasn't like, oh
But I
man, I
think
used to
that
like
draws-
these guys.
Yeah,
That
Oh,
draws more attention.
I don't think they're
'cause
nice people.
That guy was like the secondary like villain. Like you want
He
him dead.
looks
Yeah, I
weird.
guess.
he looked like someone. He
Like
looked
appearances?
or what?
appearance wise, but he looked like someone like I've seen in like Ratatouille or something.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I feel like
Oh, interesting.
I'm pretty sure he's been in other films.
An animated film.
Yeah. So who was your favorite?
I would say probably either Boyce or Chloe. Either they're both about the same.
Talk about copy.
Leo's like, hey, let me copy your homework, but don't make it obvious.
Chloe and Boyce.
What did you say again? Yeah, that one.
What? I can't have the same favorite character?
Give me
You
an answer.
can.
Give me
Alright,
an
I'll-
answer.
Why'd
I'll-
you like him?
Huh?
Why'd you like him?
Because he was nice.
And she was cool.
and, and she was
Alright,
a
good enough
strong
for me.
female character.
Well, I apologize for my answer, but I'll say the same thing.
Yeah?
So there you go.
Why?
Because he was really nice and she was
Yeah,
cool.
he was really nice, you know.
And your favorite character?
I liked Tibbet.
Tibbet?
Yeah,
Tibbet.
I liked all of the characters.
No,
I liked
Tibbet
all the
was
character
fucking
arts.
fun.
I really liked Tibbet.
I couldn't stand him at first, but I was also like, I know his character.
I think
So
he
I,
had
hope
the-
I hope he has growth, and he did. So
He had a lot of growth.
you know what? I changed my answer to Jacob. He was cool.
Who the hell is Jacob?
He's the one they saved from the compound. And
Oh yeah, the
Oh,
guy who looked like Tibbet
yeah.
Early in
Chalamet.
the movie. I
Yeah.
just like the part where he's like, or him and Tibbet are outside. Wait, it's Tibbet, right?
I think so.
you
Yeah.
got it.
Yeah. And they're outside and they're all like just bantering while shooting all
Yeah.
the Nazis
He's
outside.
like,
Oh,
like,
yeah.
God, like, can't you hit him? He's like, this is a 2-person gun. He's like,
It's a two-person gun, you bastard.
What did you guys think of the effects of the movie?
Great. I think the only
Great
one that was
effects,
kind
right?
of the only one that was a
I
little
think
jarring.
the majority
was,
of them were practical, right?
Yeah.
Except for
Yes.
the airplane stuff. But-
Oh yeah, no,
no,
that was
that was practical.
Oh yeah, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
so.
well, the
The whole movie,
where-
like
where they're
they
in.
flew a plane, they blew it up in midair.
Yeah,
and they had a skydive.
No, the actual like hall they were in,
No,
that
yeah.
that was real, and then the actual explosions that went off in there, that was real too. I
There-
think they actually did.
There
I
was
think
a
they actually did jump
there
out
was
of
a
that
scene
as
in the
well.
movie where I thought it had a little bit of jarring CGI. It was,
Was it-
who's this character right here? What's his name?
The Nazi?
Yeah, the general.
I
Anyway,
don't know, German name.
there's a point where like his face obviously is all fucked up, but there's a point where like the camera focuses really close on his face, and as he's talking, you can tell that the lower
Oh,
part.
when it starts healing.
Yeah, when it starts killing, you could tell that his face was CGI'd, and I was like,
Oh yeah.
it makes sense, like whatever, and it has some healing factor, but then after that, he had prosthetics, and I was like, okay, that's
yeah,
cool.
the,
Yeah.
the
Yeah,
first
the one thing that threw me off because I was doing a little bit of research before I rewatched the movie, and they're like, yeah, a lot of the stuff was practical. So
Yeah, it's
the
cool.
collarbone snapping, that was practical, right?
Yeah, maybe that's why
but
it felt so gross.
Oh, yeah.
There was a part where he's looking back and you like see his bone pop.
Mhm.
That whole part looked like really bad CGI.
Mhm.
Did you?
Yeah,
notice
that's
it?
what I was
Oh,
going
when-
to
yeah.
when his head goes back. and
Yeah.
It's like
his,
for like a
spine.
second. It looked
Yeah.
like the Thing prequel.
Yeah.
like for like a second. It was like,
Like holy
It's
crap!
just
Is that
like- I think it
is
was too shiny.
that Elizabeth Winstead?
Yeah.
Shiny skin.
but I was surprised you didn't like more of the cinematography. I thought you would applaud this movie for that.
Cinematography was okay. I did love the color grading from the movie. I did notice that a lot.
Yeah, there was nothing like because I always look at the
Yeah.
choreography because Lee was always like, I like the choreography, not choreography. What is it? Cinematography.
Cinematography.
I love
The
the
dancing.
the dance number at the end with the
dancing,
Nazis. Yeah, that was good. But no, I was looking at it. And I was like, yeah, no shot really stuck out outside of like the when he's falling out of the plane.
That's the
Yeah.
shot that stuck out for me the most. I'm like, this is a great shot. Like from beginning to end, like you can see him struggling. Like in the background, you see like planes flying over, exploding and shit. All the way until he falls in the water, and then from under the water, you see him come up. That's a whole like one shot take. And I was like, that's
there's
pretty
one
cool.
issue in that shot
What's
that
up?
I
Give it to
noticed
me.
when I was watching with Bobby.
Hmm.
So when he falls in the water, he deployed his parachute. Landed.
Right? Yeah.
So he reaches up, grabs his knife, cuts the parachute.
Right.
But then he takes off the backpack
Yeah.
for the parachute.
Uh-huh.
I was like, why'd you cut it in the first place?
Oh, because the parachute. Okay, so when he fell, the parachute opened
And
on
it
top
was
of the water.
on the surface of
It was
the
so
water.
when he
Yes.
came up, obviously, like if he takes off his parachute, that fucking parachute's still gonna be there, on top of the water.
Yes.
So he just ripped it because it's almost like putting a
No,
bag
no.
over your head.
Okay,
'Cause he
so
doesn't wanna
you're
get
saying when he
tangled.
came out of the
Yeah,
water.
yeah.
But
No,
when-
I'm
when he
saying
lands
when
in
he
the
was in the
water,
water,
he cuts
he
it.
cut the rope.
So he cuts the rope.
Oh,
He cuts the rope,
yeah,
but
yeah,
then
yeah.
the
Takes
backpack
off
off.
the
He doesn't
backpack
want to get tangled in
in the rope while he's like
because
swimming
the
out.
bag would what's the word I'm looking for? Like make the rope.
Have you guys
Yeah,
seen
yeah,
a
'cause they would,
parachute
like,
The rope will
backpack?
get
Pull it
taut
down,
because it's
right?
getting pulled down by the backpack.
Yeah.
So he cut the rope so that the they would disperse.
I don't know. I don't know if
I guess
parachutes.
swim
like
up and not get
less
tangled.
less risk
Yeah.
of getting tangled.
I don't know if parachutes are the same now as they were made back then, but have you guys seen parachutes inside the backpack? It has like a fucking million ropes in it, a million strings. Like you ever seen those videos where people get tangled in the ropes in their parachute? It's just not this big, man. And I'm like, you're fucking dead. Just cut the whole thing off or something, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Just cut the whole thing
So-
off and try and spread your weight.
Yeah, exactly. It has so many different ropes and strings, and who else? Who
Yeah,
knows
but
what
real
else?
quick, because we're getting a little bit off topic. So you said 7, I said 7.
mhm.
You gave it a near perfect score.
Near perfect score.
Always-
Yeah.
You gave it about a
8.5 to
8.5.
9, but
So
The
just
ratings
to
online are
yeah,
crazy.
just to
oh
just
my
to
God.
compare.
Sure.
So for the IMDb for this movie, it's going to be a 6.6 out of 10,
Very.
which
yeah.
is more closely aligned to what we thought about the film.
Mhm.
Yeah.
However, the audience score, Rotten Tomatoes, is going to be 82%, which is going to be more closer aligned to Ivan's score.
Yeah, I personally love the movie. That's why.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is
So we just
accurate.
what you're saying is like they watched it as critics and we watched it as actual people, or vice versa.
Well,
Vice versa. They watched it as people, and we
people?
watched it as critics.
So when I was reading the comments, because I was reading the audience comments and stuff, it was either one or two ways. One, people just hated the movie.
I mean, I didn't necessarily hate it.
No, I'm saying like half a star ratings. We were reading like a
you
whole
didn't
bunch
hate
of,
it because I didn't recommend the movie.
There you
If
go.
everyone would be like, "What is this shit?"
But real quick, since this was a rewatch for you guys. I know you haven't seen it before, but were there any scenes that you saw initially that stuck out that you were like, "Oh, this is gonna happen at this point. This is gonna happen at this point"? Because for me, there were two.
You mean like that connected to future events?
No, just that what you remembered from your first watch. Because this was
I
about
remembered-
7 years ago.
I remembered most of the movie actually. So.
Yeah. So
But
was there
I
any
ha-
specific scene, or were you just like, "Oh, like I know it so well"?
The airplane, the mine, and then I know that leads to the village, the French village, and I think that that when we get introduced to the main Nazi guy, like the way he acts, it's like like I think he makes you hate him really well. Then obviously the scene with him and Chloe. After that, they capture him. Or I guess you're just saying like
Like any specific
iconic
scene.
scenes.
Not so much
Or-
iconic scenes, but like, because for me, the two scenes that I remembered,
Yeah.
because it's been like 7 years since I've seen the movie, or closer to 6, but it was the opening scene
Yes.
where the plane gets shot down,
And then when he goes,
and
in
then
the
it was
compound?
the next scene. It was the Chase getting revived scene.
Okay.
So I'm actually a little bit glad I didn't remember the landmine scene too much, because that one kind of did catch me off guard a little bit.
Yeah, it's really out of nowhere.
Because he's just like, "Yeah, I'm writing a book," and they're like, "Oh, that's awesome," and then just
Boom!
Yeah,
He's like, hey, you should work with me. You get a
yeah, he's
cut
like,
of
"Oh,
the
hey,
profit.
you can take pictures." Yeah,
Yeah, so sudden.
yeah.
It's like a punch in the face, dude.
Yeah, you're like, oh, this is our cast. Oh well, no.
No,
Yeah. Guess
Minus
not.
one.
Tell us some trivia, Raymond.
We're not there yet.
we're not.
Yeah.
What about you? Anything you liked, or anything that
I remember the whole
kept it
movie,
in your
but
mind?
the scenes that I remembered story beat wise, actually one of my favorite scenes in the movie is the grenade in the Nazi's mouth. That
Yeah,
Oh,
you know,
the
also
Nazi
funny
smell.
'cause
Yeah.
I was rewatching the movie and I saw a scene. I was like, oh, like, because he's like pointing toward the bombs and then trying to take the tape off him. I was like, how come he doesn't want him to take the tape off his mouth?
Mm-hmm.
And then they pull it, and I was like, okay, that's
yeah.
why.
yeah, that
So
scene
that's why I
was
was
great.
like genius because
Yeah.
like they would think the same thing. They're like, well, you know,
Yeah, like just tell us what you're trying to say.
yeah.
Yeah,
but-
well, behind the scenes on that one, because it was prosthetics, right? So
Right.
they blew up a torso, and then after that they did the explosion,
Yeah,
and it just like
Oh, they just splice them together.
yeah, and
That's
it looked amazing in the movie, and then seeing it behind the scenes, I was like, damb, that looks amazing.
That's awesome.
that's
the
exactly
movie?
what I saw.
The movie was like really quick. It was like his head explodes, and then half a second later, everything explodes.
Explodes.
So it was like, it was like real quick.
It was great.
Yeah, so overall, in terms of budget and box office, this movie didn't do super
No, it
great.
didn't.
So for the budget it was 38 million.
It's a pretty small budget considering. for
It's
this
not
movie.
it's not a huge budget, and
Mhm.
but I mean it's kind of good that they didn't spend too much money
Mhm.
because the box office it only made about 41.7 million.
Oof.
So it barely
Barely-
made back its
Yeah.
budget.
Yeah.
But we already talked about if we would recommend it. We were doing the spoiler warnings. Favorite kills? You guys have anything that was like,
Oh, Bobby just said his. So
Yeah,
which was the exploding?
yeah, that's great.
what's? It didn't have a lot of kills, did it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
I think it was
no.
like Chase,
Could've
the motorcycle, the landmine. I guess the plane had a lot, but that was
What about that one zombie with the bone?
There's a
stump.
sergeant.
the
there's a
flame? But they
bone.
just
Yeah,
burned
the
him. That was
stump.
kind of like whatever.
I like
To
his
be
stump
honest.
though. That made me laugh when he just tried to stab her with his stump.
Yeah.
Just
The
just
bone
bring-
stump?
Yeah, the bone
I
stump.
think they have those zombies in Dead Island where they have both their hands are like that,
Yeah.
where it's just sharp bones.
Should
Pretty
make
cool.
a Dead Island video game, man. No, video game.
Yeah, that'd be cool. That's a good idea. They make a sequel, call it Riptide.
Make a spin-off. Call it. What the fuck is that spin-off called?
Riptide or the arcade one?
No, the Dead Island spin-off. The one Dying Light. Yeah, I should make a.
That's
That's
a
not a
spin-off.
spin-off. That's a completely
That's a-
different game.
Oh, it's a spiritual successor kind
Yeah,
of.
yeah,
Yeah,
kind
it's
of.
okay.
It was like
I
they
like that.
took
Spiritual
inspiration.
successor, that's good.
But yeah, there was only like there weren't that many kills. So, and then the final ones were just the flamethrower and then the explosion killing all the ones inside the compound.
Yeah. Well.
So I think Chase and the Nazi on the motorcycle are the most iconic ones, besides everything else.
Chase
I mean,
is
I
an
like
iconic
the
one. I would say
landmine one
Yeah,
because
brutal.
it just kind of
Out of nowhere.
happens. Yeah.
Yeah.
'Cause
You guys didn't
you feel safe, right?
Mhm.
You're like, okay,
They're
this
just
is who
walking.
made out of the plane. This is going to be our main cast for the film.
Mm-hmm.
And then no, it's not.
Then reality check.
Then reality
Yep.
check because
It's
it's
like, fuck.
like I said, it's war, it's brutal, like, and it's too real. You know, it's just like that. Like
Gets me right
you,
there.
you see that in other
I go
movies,
with
other war
Chase,
movies,
though.
where it's just like you think you're safe and you just hit a landmine and it's like you're gone.
So motorcycle land, chase,
I'd
and
say
a
Chase.
landmine.
Mhm.
And do you have one?
I would say probably either Chase or the final death where he just blows everybody up with the
Yeah,
C4.
that's I was sick too.
That one, yeah, that one was pretty cool. I wasn't expecting it to be that cool. I was like, okay, that was.
Yeah, like,
kinda-
up
that was
until now, the
pretty
movie's
worth
been
it.
shit, but this was amazing.
Yeah.
I don't know what the hell I'm watching, but this scene was cool.
All right, so we can go ahead
Like a
and
lot
get
of
into
people like
some
that.
behind the scenes and fun facts.
Mhm.
And unless you guys have any other things you guys want to bring up.
No, how are we on time?
Got a little bit of time.
Cool.
Well, we'll have
Alright.
to pause, but we're fine.
Nah.
Okay. So Overlord's first sequence, which sees the soldiers jumping out of a burning plane, was done by rigging a plane on a gimbal, actually
Get
blowing up
the
the front,
hell out.
tilting it as they were
great.
actually falling through the air and sending stuntmen
I
tumbling
want
through real
to. I want
fire.
to see. I want to see behind the footage of that actually.
Well,
Yeah,
did you guys have
it's-
that in the behind the scenes?
Yes.
We have some of it.
Is the movie still here?
Yeah.
Because they own the
Should
movie
be.
and they were able to watch like the behind the scenes stuff. And
Oh,
we,
thanks a
I
lot, you
think
jackasses.
we
We
don't.
rented it.
I think I took it home.
We rented
I have
it.
the Blu-ray.
You know what? You owe me $2.
Oh yeah, we rented it. Damn it,
You're paying for half of that. You owe me $2.
$2.
The movie featured more practical effects rather than standard CGI effects.
Nice.
Most movies use. This was done to get a better reaction from the actors involved in the scenes where something gruesome was
Look
happening.
how great it turns out to be when you use practical effects.
What
rather
would you
than
think
CGI.
of the acting overall?
It was pretty good.
Yeah,
I like the
think all
acting, it was pretty
actors
good.
did
Yeah.
well, like really well.
Everyone.
Yeah, no, it was pretty well. Like even like Chloe, Ford,
What about
Chase.
Paul? You're a child actor.
Yeah, what about Paul? Your
Chase. He's all right. He's all right.
I thought everyone did great.
No, everybody did great. No, everybody was
for-
great.
for-
Even the kid.
As far as children acting goes, I was like, he was fine. Like he didn't speak much.
It was like
It was
you-
it was
did-
kind of funny where like Chloe sent him into the sewers and then like she gets dragged out and he's just like
Oh yeah,
he just takes up running.
that
I was like
shot of him.
okay, yeah.
just screaming.
The scene where Chase neck snapped back so fast, where his bones are sticking out of his chest, was done old school puppetry and animatronics.
Yeah, you should see that.
Nice.
That puppet looked nuts. It was like,
Oh, nice,
Yeah.
nice. No wonder, because I remember when I saw that, I was like, oh,
Yeah.
oh.
Then the sound design was just really good because
The sound design was
Yeah.
great. That's what I think.
feel
Yeah,
it was like
things
a-
growing.
the
where they
sound
like,
design
yeah.
was amazing. Yeah.
Let's see, the climax of the film was set in real time from the point where Ford says that he set an explosives timers for 18 minutes until the church explodes is almost exactly 18 minutes.
Nice.
So that's a neat thing of the whole set, like the bunker or the hideout. It was all like connected. So it was
Oh,
actually
yeah?
like a giant like.
Oh
See,
shit.
the thing that kind of threw me off is because I read this before rewatching the movie, and he was like, "I'm setting the timer for 18 minutes." Right, and I was like, "Oh, this is probably the thing they were talking about, right?" And they get into that whole kerfuffle or whatever,
Like he,
and then
like,
he
breaks
goes,
it.
"I didn't have time to set the timers. You got to set them." So I was
Yeah.
like, "Wait, was that not the timer?"
Yeah, I
'cause
know.
The Nazi broke it.
yeah, I know,
Oh, he
but
did
I'm
break it.
saying like, I was like, "Oh, like
Was
where
like
does 18 minutes
minutes.
start?"
Oh, that you're like I'm gonna start counting right here.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
it's gonna be one of those things. Is like, "Oh, guys, if you guys start watching Overlord at this time on New Year's, the church will explode." But it was what was I gonna say? It's gone forever.
All right.
You were saying about the time.
and we're talking about practical effects because there was a lot of what was it, the monster, the one that was chasing Chloe through the bunker.
The stump.
That was all like mostly practical. I think the only thing is his little stump, his little spike was a green glove.
Oh,
like-
was it?
But everything like they're like
just
it's-
the bone part.
Yeah, no, he looked practical. He
Well,
looked practical as hell.
they were like it brought so much immersion to see this character just brought to life, chasing it induces fear, you know.
Yeah, of course.
So that
He looked gross. He looked creepy. Like that, I enjoyed that a lot.
I think that was great where he's like in her face and she just shoots him in the head. You're like, oh, nice. She took him
Oh,
out.
yeah.
And he just
Yeah, he just
stands
went.
up. Yeah.
Yeah.
that's also one thing I like because in that scene I'm like, oh, is someone gonna come save her, but it's like no, she has to save herself. Like
Yeah, exactly.
her yeah, she was such a badass.
Didn't she get saved at the end from that?
No.
she ran away
She
and
did
got a
everything herself.
flamethrower. And
Oh,
killed
and that
him.
was that one.
Yeah.
And
There
then
was
she ended
another
up
one
getting out of there.
where she was
Oh, that
looking
fire
for
stunt.
Paul,
Yeah.
and the guy was like, "He's in here," and then she like, whatever, like,
She gets saved right before that.
Yeah,
Or
right
like
before
just
that.
yeah. But the fire stunt, the fire suit looked amazing.
Mm-hmm.
The whole special effect, all the explosions looked amazing. There's so many things I like.
That's something like
I will say this movie doesn't get as much praise as it deserves. As low of a score that I gave it, it is still a really good film,
Yeah,
and it's
that's why I thought you would like it
much
more.
better to go in blind. But
I
if
think I would have
you-
enjoyed it a lot more if I had no idea what it was, and I'm like, huh, let's watch it. You know, like I would have enjoyed it a lot more. I think.
I thought going into this movie I was gonna give it a 10 out of 10, 100% when I was like rewatching it, because I always give this like a 9.5 almost every time I've watched it. So when I was going into it for the third watch, I was like, I think this is gonna be a 10. And I watched it, I was like, it was great, I loved it. And then I was reading the reviews and I was like, I can see the critiques, I can see the flaws.
I don't want nobody to yell at me.
No, but I was like, it's still like, it's like I get it. Like I can't say it's a perfect movie if it has all glaring issues. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Except for Evil Dead.
I think that's
2013.
what makes it a good movie.
Take a
Like
shot.
despite the issues that people had, it's like I can
Still a great movie.
I can enjoy it.
Yeah,
as,
yeah.
well,
like,
because
really,
I learned to take movies with like a grain of salt. So,
Mm-hmm.
for example, I'll see a movie, and if it's like based off something that like an original, like an IP that I know,
yeah.
I just have to convince myself like, oh, like well, like in this version of this character,
Yeah.
this is how things work in this universe. So, for example, you could be like, oh, well, like this is an alternate timeline.
And then that's
That
how
is- yeah, so like now you
'Cause, I
have
mean, yeah,
you have
it
black
has
people in the
Nazis.
military, you know, like they weren't so strict on the hair,
Mm-hmm.
right? Just take it with a grain of salt. It's like this is a really good movie.
Wouldn't
Everyone had-
women wouldn't have respect like that
Exactly.
in those times.
First of all, broad. Like it's weird. It's weird to see a movie about like Nazi zombies and be like, well, it's not 100% historically accurate. It's like,
No
yeah, I
shit,
know.
Charlie.
I don't know. You guys have watched so many movies with me at this point that you guys already understand that when I go into a movie, I'm like, this is the world that they build. You have to abide by that logic. You know what I mean? So that, like this movie was just like, just relentless war into super soldier Nazi zombies.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wow. That's,
Wow.
Yeah.
And
It was a
I
good
never played
mix of
Wolfenstein or
genres.
anything like that. Yeah, it was great.
That's pretty good.
But I feel like there was a clear divide of when it went from like war movie to
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it was like
Yeah.
war horror, and then it goes into like the suspense with the when they're in the house, and then it goes into like
Which is
like
still
But people were saying,
war
like-
horror, I think.
yeah,
the
but it's more like
cliches, there's
suspense
too
versus
many,
like you know
the
like
beat for beat, like
horror action,
Yeah.
which
Like-
most
Sure,
I can see
yeah.
that's what
war
I can
movies
see
are.
the
Yeah.
flaws, but I'm like, I still don't mind them.
yeah. I mean,
But-
it was a very tight knit movie. Like some things would like kind of drag on for a little too long, but it's like there was a clear time window.
Mm.
The one thing that kind of threw me off was they're like, oh, like we gotta destroy the tower by 600,
Yeah,
which is 6 in the morning, but it's like the sun is clearly out. I guess like maybe
Sun
if they're
worked
doing
differently,
like
back
American
in the
time
40s.
zones
Yeah.
up against like
This-
what were they in France, Germany?
They're in France.
They're
It was
in
a French
France.
village. that we
What,
went to.
I don't
Oh,
know
we're
what the time
France.
frame is from that, but I was like the sun was like out for hours.
Oh, you're saying the day after?
Yeah, because they were like,
Yeah.
we got to destroy it by 600 hours, and then it's like the sun's out and
Well,
everything.
I think that was the thing, right? Where it's like they missed their opportunity, but they're like, we still got to do it.
No, they didn't miss their opportunity because they were like, oh, he's like the planes land in 20 minutes.
Mhm.
He's like, I'm gonna set the timer for 18.
So I did have one question though. So for the score you guys give it,
Mm-hmm.
what could this movie have done to have raised the bar for you a little bit?
So for me, it would have been an increase in horror. Like they're basically saying like, yeah, like we're gonna create an army of these things and this and that. Like the small horror that they did show is very good, very practical, very gruesome, but it just felt so far and in between where it was kind of like it's cool, but you don't see enough of it.
Make it more of a threat.
Make it more of a threat.
bring
Like
in more.
it seemed like such a secondary hazard compared to their overall mission.
Yeah.
Like if it was like more up in front and then they're like, oh, well, we still have to do this.
Mm-hmm.
Or how they were like, oh, we gotta go down the lab and destroy it so this thing doesn't get out. If that was more of a primary focus,
Yeah.
because it still felt to me that they were like, oh, well, we just got to get the radio tower down.
Yeah.
That
And
was
it-
Ford.
That-
very
that's
much
why Ford,
Yeah.
Ford was like,
Well, Ford was always just about the mission.
mhm.
Yeah.
Up until the very end. But it just seemed like the zombies were a secondary task to what they were already trying to do.
Yeah.
So if they had some point swapped the roles
Yeah.
and made it like, hey, like we need to make sure nobody knows about this stuff and that we stop it from getting into anyone's hands.
I think it was like a mix of both things.
Because they kind of allude to that.
Yeah.
Towards the
When
end.
Ford is dying, he's like, hey, like our side shouldn't get this either. And then when his captain or whatever is like, hey, did you find anything down there? And he's like, no.
And that's the
Well,
stupidest.
that was Boyce's
That was
mission,
so
right?
dumb when he's
After he
all
found
like,
out
he's
about
like, would you find anything? If you did, you should tell us now. He's like,
it. Gulp.
no. And then the guy's like, all right, well, I believe you. I was like, bro, you couldn't just be more like believable that you didn't see anything. But he's like sweating bullets. He's like, no.
I didn't get that feeling.
I
from
got
him.
that.
No, I didn't either. He did
You
take
know?
a second, but he was like, no.
Yeah.
You can
Yeah,
see it in
he's like,
his
"Just the
face, like he
control
was
room."
sweating.
Yeah,
I was
just
like,
the control room.
come on, man. Like,
I
If
think
you,
you're the
if
only
you
one who took
rewatch
it that
it, I
way.
think you'll see it more. Like,
Yeah.
I'm
like
gonna drop it to 6. A 6 out of 10.
All right.
So one more word, it's going down to a 5.
Same question, but I want to hear your answer.
Maybe introduce the super soldiers, infected super soldiers, probably like a little bit earlier on, because the first glimpse of it that you get is the ant, right?
yes.
And then you don't see the
Yeah.
Yeah, she's
Uh-huh.
sickly. Yeah.
Yeah, she was all. I like how she was just there just for that.
yeah, she was just there, you know, and so it makes you think like, oh wait, is it like an infection? Is this like a serum? You know?
So let me ask you this: at what point in the film would you have introduced the concept of the super soldier, like the zombie Nazi? Because I felt like the reveal wasn't bad, but I just don't think there was enough of it.
Like more in the end.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I feel like it should have been more. I feel like they should have introduced them like maybe when they started raiding the house, right? It's like, oh, we killed this one Nazi guy, like they're monsters, literal monsters, and like, yeah, I know, we know. It's like, no, you don't understand, like they're savages. And I feel like there should have been more of these super soldiers, because the only ones that we saw that they actually got some screen time was Chase, was the main general villain one, and then the Stump. You know, those are the only 3 that actually got some screen time, besides those other super ones that popped out at the end. That
I
We're just
completely
there for
forgot about
cameo.
those guys until my rewatch. I was like, oh yeah, like I guess there's more.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
but
But
there
I
was
don't know
really
when
only
they were
3.
made or
They were just
where
like-
they came out of.
They're like those morgue things where they like pull out the trays.
Yeah, so
Like,
they
it
were
was like
already-
they were like stacking.
They're
up
they're
lives.
like they're like saving them.
It's like
Uh,
fucking that episode of Full Metal Alchemist. You know, like the super soldiers with the eye.
Yeah.
just dropped out.
yeah.
Yeah.
When I view this movie, it's because I view it from the lens of like it being the first installment. Like I imagine, not that I'm assuming there's gonna be
My bad.
not assuming there's gonna be a franchise, but like there's so many other horror movies where there's a slow build up to the big unveiling of the monsters. That's how I viewed this, because it's like it subverted expectations, and I think it successfully did that. But like when you, like I said, I referred to Aliens earlier, just the first Alien movie.
Romulus.
No,
I'm just kidding.
But that's the first one for me.
I'm trying to think of like old classic horrors that like Candyman. Like you don't see Candyman,
Or
Yeah.
where like you don't see the big
Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
yeah, you don't see the big
Is another big
monster
example.
until 45 minutes in,
Sure.
until the story has, you know, you've done the build up, you've set up the world, and then you go from there.
Yeah, like I
it's
said, I think
different.
the reveal was fine. I just think that it didn't seem as much of a threat.
Or like Wreck as well. But I'm like, I feel like the version of the movie that you're imagining, or the version that you would have enjoyed more,
But
is a sequel to where it was just like super soldiers.
But here's the
fighting.
thing: those reveals
like
that you guys are
aliens, you know what I
talking
mean?
about, those reveals you guys are talking about, for example, like Wreck or Texas, that whole movie, it depends. Like it's leading up to that. This movie, like Raymond said, and like I think too, the movie's just them trying to infiltrate the church to destroy the radio tower, and then the super soldiers are just like a side
Like a
quest.
subplot.
Yeah, like a
in their way.
subplot. You know, with Texas Chainsaw and Wreck, the whole buildup is leading towards the overall point of the story. You know what I mean? So it works for those movies. With this one, it's almost like, and I guess it kind of makes sense since it's like a side plot. You know, like
I think it fits the theme of the movie, because the whole thing is that like Boyce is like, oh, we got to do something about this, and Ford is like, nah,
We have to be-
we don't.
We don't
It's
have to
like-
just be soldiers. We have to be people.
Yeah.
We have to be
so that,
more
Yeah,
than what
exactly.
we are.
I think that's why it
And that's
felt
the
like a
more that I
side
got
thing.
from it.
yeah,
Because technically
exactly.
it is. They don't have to do this. They can just go in there, do their mission,
and
leave.
dip out.
And
Yeah.
dip out.
Because
Yeah.
they mentioned that toward the end as well. They go, hey, how come you just didn't go above ground and destroy it? Because that would have been a lot easier. And he had to make it up. He's like, oh, like, well, there were a lot of people there. So, Ford thought it was a good idea if we went underground.
Yeah.
Which, to be fair, that was his idea.
Yeah.
But he gave him the credit for it.
Because
Yeah.
he sacrificed himself, But yeah, that was one of the things. And then I think another reason they didn't show it off too much, because it was still an experiment. Like, they didn't perfect the serum.
Yeah, no, but like
So-
you could have added like so much more body horror
That's what I was
of
thinking.
like failed
like,
experiments.
yeah,
or,
failed like that
Yep.
dude.
like the
more
the
of it.
talking decapitated head
Mhm.
was fantastic.
That was
To
great.
see
It was
a little
awesome.
bit more
Yeah.
like experiments gone wrong.
Yeah.
More people like body
Body horror.
dysmorphia.
I get
agree
that.
with that.
Like-
I did
begging
want
for help.
Like the
screaming for
Stump.
help.
I
It's
call
like
him
you wanted
Stump because I don't know
more.
what the hell his name was.
Stumpy.
But
I get
Stump,
that. I get that a lot,
Stumpy,
actually.
Stumpy was great. And that was so creative for him to use his fucking stump to just try to stab her. I was like, that's gross. And it's
First
great.
of all, not creative. It's been done before. Dead Island.
Oh, sure.
But-
Dying light over here. And then obviously you got this guy right here who like half face, like two face,
Two-Face.
And then you get a glimpse of Chase, but that was a great transformation. I think that was my favorite transformation.
I think it was the most like done for a transformation because everything else was just kind of like, you look gross.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Everyone else just changed a little
I
bit.
feel like the transformations go downhill from there, from that point on, because his
I think
transformation was kind of whatever, and then
Mhm.
Ford's transformation, he didn't really transform. He's just more like,
Well, this guy, I think it was more like his body accepted it more than the others.
sure.
Because
that
it
kinda
was
makes
like
sense.
he was
He did
healing.
multiples.
He was like healing.
Oh yeah.
He did. He like pushed it past like what he was supposed to.
Oh yeah. Plus he took like
Mhm.
3 shots.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
Well,
right.
I am curious though, just as like a final like question of it. Did you guys have fun watching it? Because I had like a stupid amount of fun. Just even on the third rewatch, I'm just like, man, this was just so enjoyable.
For the majority of it, yeah. I mean, I had fun the first 15 minutes, and then it kind of like, and then it just
like,
no, it just slowed down for me. I was still watching it, but I'm like, okay, when is it gonna pick up again?
Mhm.
Until they once they started going into the lab, I'm like, okay, I'm getting interested again. Then I saw the head, and I was like, great, we're going there. Then Chase transformation, I was like, great, we're here. And then that's when I got interested again. So there was a point in the movie for like 30 minutes where I was uninterested.
yeah,
Because they were stuck in the attic, and then it's like,
it was like the war parts.
no, not really the war part, because the war parts were great too.
Oh no, but like the horrors of war, the Nazis
I
taking
was
over the
invested
village.
in the
It
movie.
felt thrilling to me. But yeah,
I was
Sure.
invested the whole time, but I wouldn't say I enjoyed it.
oh yeah.
I wasn't excited for anything. I was like, this
This
is
fucking
horrible.
guy.
This people were dying.
So like for
the-
me, like
The horrors of war were too real.
I get
that.
I
And it
do
was
get
just like,
that.
and there wasn't anything where I was just like, oh yeah, like this is happening now. I was just like,
No, I was at the edge of my seat when he drops the baseball and
Yeah.
they're going upstairs and he's
Then the MVP shows up, Paul,
Oh,
Yeah.
that slow
That slow
camera move
ca-
where
yeah.
they're,
I was
and
on
they're
the
pointing the
waiting.
guns at him.
Yeah.
I remember like screaming on multiple
There
parts of
were
this.
some tense scenes, but at no part was I like excited.
It very much
yeah.
because this movie does have moments. Inglourious Bastards has moments like that
Yeah.
where it's
Yes.
the tension is just it's so thick. It's like like a god. And you
It
have
re-
to just
the
see-
when they go into the house, it actually reminded me of that
Yeah,
moment where
so-
like the what's it called? I forgot what his name was, but he goes into the house looking for Jews, and he's like, no, there's no Jewish people here. He's
Yeah,
like,
that's
okay,
exactly
yeah,
what it
all
reminded
right,
me of.
all right. And then he just kind
In
of
its own
sits
way.
down and he just starts having a conversation with him.
Have you seen Inglourious Bastards?
No, I have not.
Oh, that scene's
Pretty great.
amazing.
It's the opening scene, right?
It's-
the
it's
opening
a
scene.
You
beginning.
should
Yeah.
we'll watch
Yeah.
that scene.
Beginning.
It's great, and it may be too real for you, but still great. But that's exactly what I'm saying. I enjoyed those thrilling moments, and I don't know. I had a blast watching the whole movie.
Watch Jojo Rabbit if you hate war. That
I
was
did see
more
Jojo
of a-
Rabbit. I liked it.
You liked it?
Yeah,
I think if a movie makes
the-
you feel like that in that way,
it's doing its job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not saying it's like it's a bad movie.
I never thought I
yeah.
hated
I'm not saying-
Nazis
yeah,
until
it's-
now.
I'm not even saying that you're saying that.
I
I'm
was
just
like, now that
like,
you mention it.
oh shit. I did a
But
180 by the end of the movie.
the movie's doing its job, but it still doesn't make it any more unsettling.
Yeah.
So for example, like if there's a it's like you're not just like, oh well, it's a movie. You're
No,
like, hey,
yeah.
that's messed up.
Bobby,
And
Yeah.
this is a depiction of
Well,
something that's
Yeah,
No,
messed
but
up.
if
that
it had
made me
happened,
feel
I-
uncomfortable. Nice.
No,
That
I'm with
is
Bobby.
true,
I'm
but
with
it's
Bobby
like-
because Raymond and Bobby
They're-
both know this but when those kind of scenes are in movies,
Uh-huh.
I completely shut out. I'm
Yeah,
like,
we all
I'm
do.
not
Us,
into this.
the
I'm
three
not
of us
into
do.
this whatsoever.
Mhm.
So when that started happening, I'm like, okay, how far is it gonna go? Because I'm already shutting off right now,
Yeah.
Okay.
they're-
And then
yeah,
it didn't
they're
go that far, so I
yeah,
was like,
they
okay, that was just
Well, you were basically Boyce in that scene. where you're like, when are they gonna stop this? When are they gonna stop this?
Yeah,
Like, you would jump
yeah,
in?
exactly.
Like, how far are
pretty
they
much.
willing to let this
Exactly.
go?
Yeah, yeah.
So
yeah.
I think that's
And then it bugged me
actually a
again
good
when the
thing.
motorcycle scene came out. And I was like, come on, fucking again? Like, like,
What was it?
like she
Oh,
can't
when
catch
he-
a break, dude.
When he like pins her down.
Yeah, when he pins it out, I was like, again, dude. Like, she
If
can't
that's
catch
how
a
you
break.
want to interpret it.
What you mean?
I mean, you don't know if that's what was gonna happen, but I got the same feeling you got from that scene.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because he was like eyeballing her.
Yeah.
Like, several
He pinned her
times.
down like that into the bridge, and there was a moment of silence, and he was just looking at her. I was like, it's implied.
She
I'm not.
starts laughing.
Yeah, and she started laughing. I was like, okay, great. This is gonna end right here. Like, and yeah, it did. So
Yeah.
That I didn't mind. I never mind that scene because it reminded me a lot of Kick-Ass 2, where they're gonna have that a scene like that, and then they just make it comical. Like, oh, he can't get it up.
Yeah.
You've seen Kick-Ass 2, right?
yeah, a long time ago, so I don't remember much from it.
Okay, yeah, no, it's when I hate when the act is like actually in the movie because it feels unnecessary to like kind of rage bait your audience like that. But when it's done to like in a tasteful manner where it's not it's just like you don't even do
Tasteful's
it.
a bad word, but yeah.
What's the word I'm trying looking for? When you're just like, just don't do it, just cut it off, like, or
Like,
just
do you remember Perfect Blue? You ever seen Perfect Blue?
The
Yeah,
animated
The
one,
animated.
or half animated one, right?
No, it's
the
full-
animated.
no
fully
fully
animated.
animated.
Fully animated
We watched
one,
it
yeah.
together.
Perfect Blue.
Did we not watch
Anyways.
it together?
I don't.
Well, we did a review on it, so
Yeah.
watch that episode.
Watch the episode right here.
It had a
An acting
scene of
a
that,
scene like that, yeah.
and it was like they did it fully, and they were acting it like she hated it, and it's like cut. All right, go back to the beginning. Let's try again. It's like
the guy's actors hated it. They were like, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, no, it's fine.
It's okay. Like I'm being
I'm
professional
acting. But then she starts screaming for them to stop, and I was like, how long is this gonna?
about it. Yeah, and
How is this gonna take? You know, it was really uncomfortable
movie.
for me. Yeah, I couldn't. Well, I mean, for everybody, I guess. Yeah.
But yeah, what about you? Did you have fun watching the movie?
Of course.
Yeah.
10 out of 10.
You're like,
Yeah,
I just
I like
love
to
killing
change my
Nazis.
I mean, and it's like the easiest bad guys you could set
Exactly.
up.
Yeah, to be honest.
Yeah.
Just, yeah.
Another thing, it was a little thing, is there's no use of the swastika in this movie.
Yeah, I didn't notice that until you said that right now.
Yeah, they had a different symbol that was used by the Germans during World War II, but they didn't have any swastikas
Interesting.
in this movie.
Was it the S?
No, it was like an eagle, like a bird or
Like
something.
the double S thing?
The eagle with the hat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
okay.
you're right. Yeah,
Yeah.
I remember that.
The one thing I wanted to mention just for funsies, the person who did the costume design,
Mhm.
she was the same person who did Inglourious Bastards, and
For the uniforms.
She just took the
Oh,
costumes from work. She's like, I could use these.
She could have. Yeah, she might have.
One of my favorite parts of that was in the interviews there, he was like, oh yeah, I remember telling her that I really want the parasailers to have a helmet with the netting. I said, oh, I got you. I'll have it by tomorrow. And she pulled up with it. And I was
That's
like,
cool.
that's awesome. So hopefully we have her name and screenshot up there, but we'll see.
Hopefully.
Before we end it, check out this book. It's Bobby's new.
Oh, thank you for reminding me.
It's a great read. Don't bring it around
open
graveyards
it.
or cabins.
It's pretty.
It has pictures if you guys get bored with regular reading.
It's a lot of demon.
a
writing
wonderful
right here.
gift from my little
lot
brother.
of
Thank you
demon
so
writing.
much, brother.
We should just ruin it.
Baby, bro.
It is my
Nice.
baby.
We should just ruin that. Get like a red crayon and be like, don't read. Like start scribbling stuff out. Be like, oh, now it's the 2013 version.
Box.
I mean, I feel like you could make that
Yeah.
with some animal hide.
Animal.
I just want to see you
A
go.
lot of cats went missing in this neighborhood. I blame the windstorm, but
God,
Bobby
well,
knows better.
Anyway, that was Overlord.
All right. Well,
That was Overlord. You guys have any plans for the next episode?
yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Ivan, thank you so much for being on today. Is there anything you
Thank
want
you,
to plug
Ivan.
in while you're here to our 12 subscribers?
5 of them.
Well, you're
being
here.
Bobby's
11
family.
subscribers?
Well, no.
No,
Yeah,
no
no
socials,
plugins.
nothing?
Socials, game
YouTube
tag.
channel.
I'm not a
Oh.
sellout yet.
Regardless, thank you guys for talking about it with me. It was so much fun. I was like, man, I really love this movie, and to hear just to talk about it is so just right here in the
Yeah.
fields.
The weird thing is
Right.
me and Leo agreed on it, something which is
Really
unheard
weird.
of,
Yeah.
yeah.
I know I'm in
know.
the minority, but
I was ready to
I really
fight
liked
too.
it.
I was like, oh, this bastard probably 8 out of 10, and I was like, screw you. It's 6 out of 10.
It just keeps going lower.
I'm glad I brought that out of you guys. Yeah.
You're like, what's his name from Civil War? You're just like, I'm gonna tear them apart from the inside.
Zemo?
Zemo, yeah.
Zemo.
You're like, I was
I
never
thought
trying,
that was him.
I was
I'm
never
not gonna
trying
lie.
to destroy Midnight Mayhem. I was trying to tear him apart from the inside.
All right, well, Marvel Rivals time. Let's go, boys.
Alrighty, let's do it.
All right, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. Comment what video you guys think we should do next. If you like the movie, if you didn't like the movie, please explain why. This has been Midnight Mayhem. We will see you guys in the next video.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Bye.
Adios.
Bye.